There is Obsession on the outside, LoJack on the inside. Obsession, a 37-foot outer limits. LoJack, a 32-foot Fabio Buzzi. Obsession on the outside, LoJack on the inside. LoJack is powered by one 1,100 horsepower C-Tech inboard with a Trimax drive. Daniel Scioli, he's from Buenos Aires, Argentina. He is the driver. Throttleman is Fabio Buzzi from Italy. LoJack, there is LoJack on the inside, Obsession on the outside. Wider shot. Fabio Buzzi on throttles, Daniel Scioli the driver. LoJack, B2. Obsession on the outside, 37-foot outer limits. This is the beginning of the B start, and these two boats went to the immediate lead right now in B class. The B and S start, that is. 100 miles for the B boats, 70 miles for the S boats. And it's LoJack and Obsession right now in the lead and fighting for the lead. LoJack, B2. Great battle going on here between these two B boats. Beautiful day here in Key West. As you can see, some clouds in the background with blue skies. Waters, though, choppy, making for a lot of rocking and rolling here in these waters. Obsession, a 37-foot outer limits, powered by two 650 horsepower MRD inboards with Mercruiser drives. Obsession. Driver is Harry Turner. Throttleman is Mike Fiore. Navigator Bob Bowman aboard this 37-foot outer limits. Special thanks to MRD, Marine Research and Development, specializing in the preparation and maintenance of high-performance pleasure and race boats. MRD is able to meet all the mechanical needs, engine packages, transmissions, outdrives, rigging, as well as the fabrication needs for all of its many satisfied customers. Also, special thanks to Jimmy Buck over at MRD. Also, special thanks to Steve Ando, the crew chief, and John Turner. And Freeze Frame Video Productions would like to thank the Obsession Racing team for helping us transport some of our equipment. Obsession B88, your national champion in B class for U.S. Offshore in this 1996 racing season. There's LoJack on the outside. LoJack, a great battle going on here between these two B boats. Obsession on the inside. Magic Potion now coming into the picture on the inside. Magic Potion, LoJack, and Obsession in the middle. A great battle in B class. Magic Potion, Obsession, and LoJack on the outside. All vying for the lead in B. A lot of flying, a lot of jumping going on. It's a great battle here between these boats. Obsession in the lead. Going around the turn now, it's Obsession with Magic Potion on the inside. B9 Magic Potion, a 34-foot Magic. Going around the turn. There's Obsession. B88. Magic Potion now coming into the picture. B9 Magic Potion, a 34-foot Magic, powered by two 600-horsepower Chevy Teague inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver is Rob Storley from Benicia, California. Navigator Steve Ingram from Valencia, California. Throttleman Bob Teague from Valencia. Magic Potion B9. Sponsors include R.A. Storley Insurance, Teague Custom Marine. Also special thanks to Rob Storley, his wife Margaret, and his kids Nicholas and Alexandra, and the staff of Teague Custom Marine. Crew members include James Jaber, Chad Schneider, and Ryan Thor. B9 Magic Potion, 34-foot Magic. Owner of Magic Potion, R.A. Storley Racing Incorporated. On the outside, Obsession B88, a great battle going on here between these two boats. Obsession and Magic Potion B9. Magic Potion, your 1996 Western Divisional Champion. Also took a second overall in the 1994 Key West races. 94 Rookie of the Year. High points overall in Western Division Regional Racing this year. Magic Potion B9. Rob Storley, Steve Ingram, and Bob Teague battling in B. In Mallory Square as we head towards the turn. On the outside, Obsession B8. On the inside, Magic Potion. There's Joanna. Joanna, 38-foot fountain in Mallory Square, going around the turn. On the outside, B28, Joanna with Magic Potion on the inside. B28 Joanna, 38-foot fountain, powered by two 650-horsepower Troy Dennis inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver is Bruce Sperling from Paulus Heights, Illinois. Throttleman Craig Lapine from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Crew members Emilio Dacoba, Tony Dacoba, Butch Treatzenberg, Don Cooper, and Gary Tatzman. Crew members of Joanna B28. Sponsors include La Cantina Restaurants from Paw Paw, Michigan, Art Lily for rigging, Troy Dennis in North Carolina for the motors, and Oasis Whirlpool in St. Charles, Illinois. B28 Joanna, 38-foot fountain, Bruce Sperling and Craig Lapine aboard. This 38-foot fountain powered by two 650-horsepower Troy Dennis inboards. Special thanks to Mr. Art Lilly. Bruce Sperling and Craig Lapine looking comfortable in their 38-foot fountain. The waters here at Key West seem to have calmed a bit. Still a little bumpy, though, in spots. There's Great Lakes Caster. Then we've got Feel the Rush on the outside. Team Stalker down in the middle. And up front is Joanna. Great Lakes Caster on the inside. Great Lakes Casters. B96 33-foot fountain powered by two 500-horsepower Mercury inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver is Jeff Haylett. Throttleman Doug Popma. Great Lakes Casters. The Great Lakes Caster Racing Team would like to thank Haylett Signs. Also, Great Lakes Caster, National Car Rental, T&M Auto Leasing, Assembly Service, Brazing Concepts, Damaron Truck Sales, Tiger Fiberglass, Morspin's Bar and Grill, Kais Jewelry, Gooby's Restaurant, K&W Manufacturing, Lake George Marina, Fishtail Marina, RNF Automotive, Valvoline, Magliner Hand Trucks, Southeast Side Harley Davidson, and Harley's Motorcycle Shop. Great Lakes Caster Race Team. They're on the inside. Jeff Haylett and Doug Popma aboard this 33-foot fountain. Powered by a pair of 500-horsepower Mercury inboards. Feel the rush on the outside. Feel the rush. B96, Great Lakes Caster. Jeff Haylett, driver and owner. B87 Team DeLand Honda 38-foot velocity powered by two 550-horsepower flagship marine imports with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver, Kevin Brown. Throttleman is Steve Kildall. Navigator, Richard Bird. The owner, Pepper Ernst from DeLand, Florida. Team DeLand Honda B87 took a first place in the Southeast Regionals, first in the Gold Cup Series, and third in the National Point standings. Special thanks to Velocity Powerboats, also flagship marine for the engines. Team DeLand Honda B87. Kevin Brown, Steve Kildall, and Richard Bird aboard this 38-foot Velocity. Nice throttling job there by Steve Kildall. We're aboard now, Team DeLand Honda.
But Peter's out there. There he is. Watch where you're going, Kevin.
Miscalculation on your left.
Come on, Kevin, drive a straight line.
You got a free side to your right, Kevin.
Go! Get on your numbers. I'm on it. We're right on it.
A stock boat on your left. Joanna's right on your stern, on the starboard side.
Get over, we're going to get... Come on. Boat down in the front of us there. I can't go the other way. I gotta go on this side. Go on. Why are we going over there? You got boats there. Because I got a boat on this side of me. Walk that other boat. Go straight.
You're safe on the right, Kevin.
Go straight. Go to your side.
Got plenty of room on your right, Kevin.
Okay, I don't see the ball yet. Get on your mark.
We're on Team DeLand Honda, B87 there with our helmet cam. Back to our helicopter shot now. That was, of course, at the green flag at the start with Kevin Brown, Steve Kildall, and Richard Bird. Exciting stuff aboard this 38-foot Velocity. These B-boats are going 10 laps for a total of 100 miles. Indigo and Kiss of Fire in B-class are out of the race. Some of the other competitors in B-class include LoJack, Joanna, Miscalculation, The Muscle, Banker, Magic Potion, Instigator, and RainX Express. Great competition in B. Right now we're watching Team DeLand Honda B87, 38-foot Velocity. These are the 1996 World Championships coming to you from Key West, Florida. Team Stalker on the outside. Team Stalker. Team Stalker in S-class on the outside. Team DeLand Honda, of course, in B. And Zero Gravity in the middle there in C-class. Zero Gravity. We're going to go with Banker now. B7 is a 38-foot fountain built by Skeeter. Powered by two 625-horsepower Troy Dennis inboards with Mercruiser drives. Forrest Barber, he is the driver. Throttleman is Jamie Coates. It's an all-Texas team. B7 Banker. Banker Racing would like to thank Mr. Art Lilly and crew chief Alan Borum for their support. Also, Fred Inman from Imco Marine for their exhaust headers, steering, and engine parts. Banker B7. Beautiful Key West. There's Team Extreme in A-class on the outside. Team Extreme. B7 Banker, 38-foot fountain, as we said, built by Skidder. Forrest Barber, driver. Jamie Coates, throttleman. You can see bumpy waters here. There's Great Lakes Caster out of the race in B-class. Another great competitor out of these World Championships right now. This first of 4 races that we'll be covering for you. There's Shogun. Shogun on the outside. But B7 Banker keeps rolling along. Reliable Troy Dennison boards. B01, the Muscle, a 33-foot power play powered by two 650-horsepower Innovation inboards with Speedmaster drives. The driver is Diamond Dave Branch. He's from Sarasota. Throttleman, Fast Eddie McCabe, also from Sarasota. The Muscle. In their rookie year this year, in this 1996 racing season, they became national champions in B-class. A terrific, unbelievable season for The Muscle. They certainly have made their impact in powerboat racing this year. Pretty big entourage for the Muscle Racing team. They got their own motorhome and trailer along with the boat, the 33-foot power play. A lot of people come together to make the Muscle a winning combination, a winning racing team here during this 1996 racing season. And now they're here at the World Championships in Key West. B01, the Muscle. And Freeze Frame Video Production certainly looks forward to seeing this racing team with a bigger V-bottom boat competing next year. There you can see many spectators along the beach, a lot of muscle there along the Sandy and also the docks watching this race. Many, many spectators having a great vantage point right there, as you can see under some of the umbrellas here in Key West. Mallory Square. Heading into Mallory Square, the Muscle. The Muscle Racing team would like to thank the Innovation Marine people for flawless engines, and also Danny Weinstein from Power Play. We've really enjoyed covering the Muscle Racing team, and we certainly wish them the best of luck in the remainder of this race and the rest of the World Championships here in Key West, Florida. The Muscle 33-foot power play. There's some of the spectator boats. A11 Team Extreme 26-foot Corsa powered by one 650 horsepower hardcore racing engine with a Mercury Bravo drive. Driver Jim Arbus, navigator Greg Pratt, and throttleman is Donnie Fox. Jim is from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Greg from Germantown, Maryland. Donnie Fox from Mechanicsville, Virginia as well. A11 Team Extreme. This boat is rigged and maintained by Arbus Marine in Richmond, Virginia, which is owned by driver Jim Arbus. Arbus is from Richmond, Virginia, who runs Arbus Marine, building engines and outdrives and rigging boats. Throttleman Donnie Fox, as we said, he's from Arnold, Maryland. Navigator Greg Pratt. This is the first time the crew has ever raced together. A11 Team Extreme. Now, this boat was previously campaigned as Hog's Breath in 1994 and Team Hardcore in 95 and 96, winning one championship under each name. The name was recently changed from Hardcore to Extreme by request of Mountain Dew, their new sponsor. A11 Team Extreme. The Extreme team would like to thank their sponsors, Liam Fuller from Pepsi Company Mountain Dew of Hanover, Maryland, Bullets owner Dan McMurtry, and Tom Duprensky of Bullets Burgers and Shakes from Richmond, Virginia, for all of their help and great food. Thanks to Carl from Hammerhead's Brewery in Key West for their hospitality and great beer drinking contest. Also, last but not least, crew chief Tony and Nancy and the crew for all of their help and support during a great week of racing here in Key West. Team Extreme. A11 26-foot Corsa. Jim Arbus, Greg Pratt, and Donnie Fox aboard, doing a great job. B1 Instigator 32-foot activator powered by two 600-horsepower Bandit racing inboards with Mercruiser drives. The driver is Joe Scrow, navigator Curtis Cropper, throttleman Peter Meyer. B1 Instigator. Special thanks to Lux Air and Lux Air Conditioning. Also special thanks to Peter Meyer's wife, Julie. Also special thanks to Stonehenge Pub on Long Island, New York. CDC Payroll Services and Kurtz Marine and Kurt Berger and all the rest of the crew over at Kurtz Marine for their reliable Bandit racing engines. Kurtz Marine, the home of the Bandit engine. Instigator B1 32-foot activator. Nice throttling there by Peter Meyer of Port Washington, New York. Joe Scrow, the driver. Navigator is Curtis Cropper. Bumpy waters here in Key West. Instigator B1, it is your national champion under SBR rules. That's why it's B1. Instigator, a great 1996 racing season. Mr. Peter Meyer, Port Washington, New York, the owner of Instigator. Big event here in Key West. We've got over 60 boats, about 60 boats entered in this particular race. Over 115 boats in all in these World Championships here in Key West, Florida. Instigator B1. Peter Meyer is the owner, and he's also the throttleman on this boat, this 32-foot activator. Joe Scrow, the driver, and the navigator for today, Curtis Cropper. B1, your national champion in B class, SBR. B50 RainX Express, a 28-foot well-craft powered by two 630-horsepower Hawk Racing inboards with McCruiser drive. The driver, Mike Hoffman, navigator Mike Stancombe, throttleman Joe Grayson. B50 RainX Express. Now, this team is known as the Cut Loose Racing Team. It's sponsored by Boat Sales, Inc. and RainX from Indianapolis, Indiana. And this young team has already amassed a long list of offshore accomplishments, although that should come as no surprise to those that know the commitment Boat Sales, Inc. has to high-performance boating. Indianapolis has a rich heritage in motor racing, and Cut Loose Racing is adding to that history today. Crew chief for today, Andrew Basinger. Sponsors include RainX, Northside Chevrolet Geo, ESPN2, the RainX girls, Cindy and Cheryl, Mark and Charlene for the graphics and race support, and CT Peppers, and of course the race sponsors. This is the fourth race for this racing team this year. These World Championships earlier in the year, they took a second in Sarasota, first in Isla Mirada, and a second in the Bahamas. The team was a big hit on Duval Street because they handed out hundreds of RainX samples each night during the race week. B50 RainX Express with Mike Hoffman, Mike Stancombe, and Joe Grayson. Mike Stancombe, by the way, the son of George Stancombe, who will be in CT Peppers in the afternoon race in the Modified. By the way, Mike Stancombe, his nickname is Blade because he liked to always go rollerblading around Key West each morning, so the guys called him Blade for short. Mike Stancombe, the navigator of RainX Express B50. Mike Hoffman, Mike Stancombe, and Joe Grayson, driver, navigator, and throttleman. A50 RainX Express, a 28-foot Kitty Hawk Manor-Felt, powered by one 750-horsepower Thunderstruck inboard with a Volvo Penta drive. Ray Delaney, the driver, throttleman Bill McComb. They're both from Sarasota, Florida. RainX Express, A50. Other crew members include Phil Esposito, Keith Warmkessel, Bruce Kruglich, and Paul Babagian. Special thanks to Tom Chaby of RainX, Ed Solangi of Volvo Penta, and Aki Manor-Felt, the designer of the boat from Sweden. RainX Express A50. Nice throttling job there. Bill McComb, as you can hear, that Thunderstruck inboard. Other competitors in A include Subloxator, Media Master, Renegade, Wizard of Oz, Team Hardcore, Danzi, Rum Runners, Shogun, and many, many more. But right now, it's RainX Express 850. Ray Delaney and Bill McComb aboard this 28-foot Kitty Hawk Manor Felt. These are the World Championships in Key West, Florida. This is the first of 4 races that we will be covering for you this week. Each team, of course, participating in 2 races. The team with the highest combined total of points will be crowned your world champions. This boat is running through this rough water with no problem at all. RainX Express. Nice jump. It's powered by one 750 horsepower Thunderstruck inboard with a Volvo Penta drive. There is Accurate Marine on the outside. Accurate Marine. It's a 88 Media Master, a 30-foot superboat built on Long Island. Powered by one 650 horsepower MRD inboard with a Mercruiser drive. The driver is Matt Beck, throttleman Greg Quirk. They're both from Long Island, New York. Media Master, 30-foot superboat. This boat is rigged and maintained by MRD, Marine Research and Development. Your home for all your high performance as well as pleasure boat needs. MRD specializing in inboards. Another boat at MRD rigs and maintains is Obsession. Obsession is currently battling right now with LoJack. So top of the pack there for Obsession and MRD. And right now, Media Master top of the pack in A class. Media Master, a 30-foot superboat, once again built on Long Island, New York. Matt Beck and Greg Quirk, fellow Long Islanders with Media Master. The owner, Commercial Wiring Corporation. Accurate Marine there on the outside. Accurate Marine. MRD, Marine Research and Development. Your home for all your high performance as well as pleasure boat needs. We're back to A11 Team Extreme, a 26-foot Corsa powered by one 650 horsepower hardcore racing inboard with a Mercury Bravo drive. Aboard driver is Jim Arvis. He's from Mechanicsville, Virginia. Navigator Greg Pratt from Germantown, Maryland. Throttleman Donnie Fox, also from Mechanicsville. Team Extreme A11. There is Nemshov, your leader in C-Class on the outside. Nemshov. Little rocking and rolling there. Team Extreme, A11. As we come up now on phase 2, as you can see, and Renegade is right in front of phase 2. I can tell you that phase 2 is an A16. It's a 28-foot Scarab powered by one 700-horsepower Chevy T Custom Marine inboard with an Artisan surface drive. Driver is Bob Vila. Throttleman Paul Abreu. They're from California. Phase 2, A16. Crew members include Dean Thompson, Paul Newfield, Scotty Colger, and Doug Welch. Sponsors, Vila Construction Company, PSA Marine Services, and Northgate Back Clinic. They took a 3rd place in Ventura in a national race and a 4th place in Las Vegas. This boat is rigged by PSA Marine Service. 28-foot Scarab Phase 2, Bob Vila and Paul Abreu aboard, driver and throttleman. There's Renegade slightly ahead of phase 2, as you can see the wake, and they're now slightly coming into the picture is Renegade. Renegade there in the middle. Phase 2 on the inside. Battle here in A-Class. Phase 2, a little rocking and rolling there, as you can see. Bumpy waters here. But in control, no problem. Doing a nice job, Bob Vila and Paul Abreu. Great competition here between these two boats. Renegade, which is a 28-foot power play, and phase 2, a 28-foot Scarab. By the way, Roger Aiken is the driver aboard Renegade, and Rick Turmel is throttleman. 28-foot power play against a 28-foot Scarab, as you can see. Not much room between these two boats. Great competition. Nice jump. Renegade, as we said, a 28-foot power play powered by one 650-horsepower inboard, a Blue Thunder inboard with Mercruiser drive. The driver, Roger Aiken, throttleman Rick Turmel. Now, the Renegade racing team would like to thank Debbie Fleischman for public relations. Also, special thanks to Blue Thunder Engines, Robert Stompiano, Stainless Steel Marine Exhaust System, Jerry Smith and Alan Brown, Dollar Marine for the Bravo drives, drive maintenance, and gauges and controls, Mike Wood, Brian and Ron Dollar. Powerplay Boat, Dan, John Gar, and Powerplay Crew. Super Graphics, Michael Chernoff and Julie West. Mayfair for the steering, Binge Good. Also, special thanks to the sponsors in Key West, Bayside Key West, Century 21, and Doctors Alan and Diane Plotkin. Renegade Racing Team, A4. Top of the pack in A, Roger Aiken and Rick Turmel. Nice throttling job there by Rick. 28-foot power play. Nice jump. This boat handling quite well in these rough waters here, bumpy waters in Key West. 829 Wizard of Oz, a 29-foot ultimate warlock, powered by one 650-horsepower T-Custom Marine inboard with a MerCruiser drive. Eric Colby is the driver. He's from Thousand Oaks, California. Throttleman is Scott DeMarteau from Northbridge, California. Eric, by the way, is the editor of Powerboat magazine. Wizard of Oz, 829. Sponsors include Hydro Hoist, T-Custom Marine, also Precision Finish Inc., Powerboat magazine, South Beach Seafood, Autometer, and Mayfair. Hydro Hoist, the main sponsor for this boat, Wizard of Oz, and these Key West World Championships. Eric Kilby and Scott DeMarteau, both Californians, on this 29-foot ultimate warlock. Other crew members include Ryan Thor and Sandy DeMarteau. Nice throttling job there by Scott DeMarteau. This boat handling well in these rough waters, Wizard of Oz. And there you see Feel the Rush coming on, Feel the Rush on the outside. Feel the Rush and Wizard of Oz battling here. Wizard of Oz on the inside, Feel the Rush on the outside. Heading into Mallory Square. Heading towards the hotels and restaurants. Let's listen to that engine there, that Wizard of Oz T-Custom Marine inboard. A66 Danzi, a 27-foot Danzi Marine powered by one 650-horsepower Chief engine with a MerCruiser drive. Bob Kappas is the driver. Throttleman Tony Clements. Bob is from Sarasota, Florida. Tony from Bradenton, Florida. Danzi, A66. Commercial endorsements include Stainless Marine, Haverford Inlet, Marine Underwriters, and Chief Engines. Danzi, A66. There's Bob Kappas and Tony Clements aboard this 27-foot Danzi Marine. Other A-boat competitors include Shogun, Performance Marine, Final Notice. Of course, we saw Medium Master before, Bronx Phantom, but we're watching Danzi right now. A66 as this first race of 4 races that we'll be covering for you begins to wind down here in these World Championships in Key West. B-15, Feel the Rush, 32-foot signature, powered by two 700-horsepower Blue Thunder inboards with MerCruiser drives. The driver, Mark Bellick. Navigator Todd Sinclair. Throttleman Martin Bellick. Mark and Martin are from East Lake, Ohio. Todd from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. B-15, Feel the Rush in B-class. Nice looking paint job on this 32-foot signature. Feel the Rush making its way into Mallory Square as we see some of the spectator boats in the background. Beautiful day here in Key West for the beginning of this World Championship. There is Joanna on the inside. Feel the Rush passing Joanna as we saw Joanna go by on the inside. These World Championships in Key West have been here for many, many years, and so has Freeze Frame Video Productions. We enjoy coming down here because it is a perfect location for this World Championship. There you see many spectators along the dock. Hotels and restaurants lining this Mallory Square as boats come in here to make the turn and head back out to the waters. Mark Bellick, Todd Sinclair, and Martin Bellick going around the turn. All right, now 822 Rum Runners, a 28-foot Sabre powered by a pair of 2.5 Mercury high-performance racing motors. This boat was race prepared by Mark Polker of Leader Marine. The boat is throttled by Gary Stewie of Glen Ellen, Illinois. Boat is driven by Larry Hook of Fox Lake, Illinois. Navigation for the Worlds, Bob Keeber of Big Pine Key. 822 Rum Runners. $822 Rum Runners would like to thank Quality Inn here in Key West for the fine accommodations. Also, Ginny Stewie for public relations. Rum Runners, this 28-foot Sabre, always runs very, very well. Rum Runners 822. Now, this is the last boat that there is Texaco Haviland 3 on the outside as we enter Mallory Square heading for the turn. As I was saying that Rum Runners is the last boat that we'll be covering for you in this first of 4 races that we will have for you this week and during these World Championships in Key West as this race now winds down. Rum Runners 822. And of course, we'll have the results of the finishers in this first race. A, B, C, and S classes. Larry Hook, Bob Keeper, and Gary Stewie. $822 Rum Runners is powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Rum Runners 28-foot Sabre. As we've said before, these World Championships, they are a 4-race event. Each team entering 2 races, and the teams with the highest combined totals for those 2 races will be crowned your world champions. Of course, anyone being in the World Championship here has to have had 2 races, at least 2 races during this 1996 racing season. Well, that's it. That's the end of the first race of the 4 races that we'll be covering for you. Great competition, though we did have a number of mishaps because of the bumpy waters out there, the major ones. The heat is on. The bow just completely tore apart by the rough waters out there, but luckily no injuries involved. As far as Intense Marine, a hole blew right through the bottom of the boat. Water squirted up, but we believe the boat did not sink. Luckily, everyone was okay. And now here are the final results in Offshore C class. In first place, Nemshoff. In second, Pepsi, C112. And in third place, Zero Gravity, that's Offshore C. Nemshoff taking the checkered flag. Number 1, C41. In Offshore B, La Gran Argentina Junior B2. In second place, Joanna B28. In third place, Obsession B88. Once again, La Gran Argentina Junior taking the checkered flag in Offshore B in this first morning race. In Offshore A, Phase 2, coming out on top, followed by Subluxator, a 46, and Media Master bringing up third. Once again, Phase 2, number 1, taking the checkered flag in Offshore A. In stock class, Team Stalker all the way, number 1, followed by Team Bermuda, then Texaco Haviland 3 in third place. Team Stalker S8 taking the checkered flag in stock class. And so that's it. Those are the final results of the first race of the 4 races scheduled in these World Championships in Key West. Of course, we had many mishaps today, but luckily no one was hurt. A lot of damage to the equipment, but everyone is okay. Now, before we go, there are a few people that we would like to thank. First off, the freeze frame video production crew, including Gary and Nancy Johnson, Peter Magnani, and Charlie Tesoro. Our helicopter companies, Kilpatrick Helicopters and Rotors in Motion. Our helicopter pilots, Russell Kilpatrick and Dave Clark. And special thanks to Mercury Marine, Obsession Race Team, and Engel Marine for helping us to transport our equipment. So on behalf of Jeff Girardi and the rest of the Freeze Frame Video Production crew, this is Vince Lipari wishing you a fond farewell from Key West, Florida. Hoping to see you soon in the second race of these World Championships here in Key West. If not, we'll see you in the first race of the 1997 racing season. Bye, everyone.